All right, cool. We live. Not really live, but you know what the hell I mean. Shit, I'm recording. That's what the hell I mean. So, today, I'm here to talk to y'all about mental health. Um, I think overall, regardless of age, mental health is extremely important. You're not going to make it very far the way you may want if your mind ain't right and your heart ain't in the right place. This is where therapy comes in. Just like I mentioned in the last video, this channel is mostly focused on dating and relationships, but this has to be talked about because I don't think, especially in the black community, it's talked about enough, especially for black men, but even more so for black women because a lot of black women spend most of their life thinking, oh, I don't need therapy. I don't need therapy. I'm fine because there's two issues that come with that: lack of accountability. So you don't think there's anything wrong with you. So therefore, you're not going to think you need therapy. That's where that comes from. Guys tend to take accountability a little bit more, from my personal opinion. But there's a lot of lack of accountability on the brothers too. So when it comes to therapy, the reason why it still exists to this day, right, is it allows you to express the personal things that is going on in your life to another party that, yes, you do pay, unless you have insurance that covers it, to get an unbiased opinion about what's going on with you. You need unbiased opinions. Um, Come on, like, it's just part of life. Let's face the facts. You need criticism to grow. And so if you spend all your time thinking that the only criticism that you want to hear about is the ones that you hear from your friends and your parents, which is usually biased by default, that's their default fucking settings. You can't even change it. It's grayed the fuck out. You can't change it. They're always going to be trying to look out for your best interest most of the time, unless you got some asshole friends. They're going to be trying to look out for your best interest. So, with that being said, you're not going to be getting the best advice from a parent or a friend. Could they give you much more, how should I describe it? Tailored advice? Yes, because they know you. You know, you came out your mom's vagina, you know, so of course that, your mother raised you ideally, obviously, I would think so, except for the adopted people. So they're going to understand you better because you came from them and they raised your ass. They were wiping your ass when you was two. So obviously they're going to be able to, get into the weeds there, and let you know what's going on. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because their advice is going to be clouded with bias, biased thoughts because they want to look out for you. So sometimes what they think is going to help you may not be the best thing to help you specifically with what you're going on with. So this is why having a stranger who doesn't give too much fucks about you and can kid and doesn't not give too much not giving a fuck about you is pretty helpful because they can be that neutral party to say, all right, Jamie, Sally, let's sit down and we need to discuss your progress report card. You got to have here. In math class, you got a D in English. So I don't even know how you're going to be able to talk to me. So I guess you're just going to be shutting the fuck up. And I see you got a C in gym. I guess you won't be the next, America's top model. So seems like you're failing at life. You need someone who's going to keep it $100,000 with you, not 99. So first thing I want to point out here is just with a little research, you can find a lot of good information. Uh, in other words, you can find a lot of secondary data that could help you get a visual idea of how fucked a lot of people on in America is. I'm only talking about America. I ain't living in no goddamn Italy. I ain't lived in no goddamn Canada. I'm not Canadian. I'm not from fucking Mexico. I'm only American. So I'm only talking about what the hell's been going on my 26 years existing on this soil. So if you want an opinion about goddamn a different country, then your ass need to find somebody who's gonna talk about that. Cause my ass ain't. Or you could just look it up your goddamn self because you got two thumbs and you probably got a goddamn smartphone. Most people do. And you can Google and find out the answers. You ain't gotta fucking wait for somebody like my black behind to fucking come on here with this goddamn camera talking about some shit that you could have looked up. Hell wrong with y'all. Anyways, first thing I want to point out here on the CDC for the 2020, this was posted in 2021, but it was data that was covered for 2020. This is data about mental health for adults. So in 2020, 20% of adults had received any mental health treatment in the past 12 months, including 16.5% who had taken prescription medication for their mental health and 10% who received counseling or therapy from a mental health professional. Let's break this down here. 20%. Right now, there's about 350 million Americans in America, and only 20% of them has received any form of mental health support. In the grand scheme of things, if you did the math on that 20, let's do the math here. Let me pull up my calculator. See, all this shit's on my goddamn phone. It's so easy, ain't it? Damn. All that time I be spending, a lot of y'all be spending, spending all this goddamn time scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, fucking Fatbook, Facebook. Fucking y'all do that shit for fucking 20 hours, but you can't spend 15 minutes looking up some real information instead of getting all your information from some goddamn keyboard warriors or in the goddamn comment sections or some random ass video that you found. It's so fucking easy, ain't it? Shit. Damn. I could be qualified for a researcher compared to y'all asses. So let's first pull up let's pull up the accurate number of how many Americans it is. I know it's over 300 million. How Americans are in America right now. 341 million as of Friday, February 2023, 2024. So we got 341 million Americans. All right. So we're going to round this down to just 341 million because it's 341,173,789. But we're going to just say 341,000,000. So 341 million Americans, right, times 0.20, which is 20% when you move the decimal point for all you non-mathematicians. That's only 68 million Americans. Now, out of that 68 million Americans, let's go back to the statistic report. It said that was for adults who have received any mental health treatment. But let's break it down a little bit more. They said 10% who received counseling or therapy. Well, considering that this video is about therapy and going to therapy, we're gonna break that number of 68 million down just a tad bit more. So 10.1% out of that 20% received counseling or therapy. So we're going to take 68,200,000 times 10.1%. That's only 6 million people. So out of 341 million people in America, only 6 million people, almost 7, has went and gotten any form of counseling and or therapy. All right, let's do some more numbers here. So let's round this up. So because we have 6.8 million, we're going to round it up to 7. So we're going to see what's the percentage of that, which obviously it was just 10%. So 341 divided by, I did that backwards, divided by 341. That's only 2% of the population. So 98% of the population ain't doing shit. They ain't doing a goddamn thing. They're not consistently going to therapy. That's a small number. That means most of y'all that's watching this goddamn video at some point ain't went to therapy. Problem number one. Y'all over here want goddamn men. Y'all want a man. Y'all want a woman. But y'all don't want to go to motherfucking therapy. Y'all, that's why y'all ass can't keep one. Because y'all ain't going to therapy. Y'all talk out of line. Y'all interject people. Y'all know how to communicate. Y'all feelings. Y'all don't want to be vulnerable. But you want somebody to do all that shit for you, but you don't know how to do it for them. And guess what? How can you expect other people to do it when only 2% of y'all go to fucking therapy? So that means most of y'all can't even emotionally process in a healthy way and communicate in a healthy way. That's my assumption. Fuck what you heard. That's my assumption. My assumption is this 2% is, to me, most of y'all don't know how to fucking talk about y'all feelings. Y'all beat around the bush. Y'all punk out when y'all get put on blast. Y'all can't handle emotional accountability. I think that from this 2%, a lot of y'all are not ready for nothing serious. So why the hell are y'all on fucking out here soul searching when you ain't even found your soul? What the hell wrong with y'all? 2%? Really? 2%? I'm part of the 2%, by the way. Just want to let y'all know that. So that means the rest of y'all ain't doing shit. Fucking 2%. That's a damn shame. All right, let's pull up the next damn thing I found here. Again, because smart stuff, the power in this device. You got all these goddamn nerds out here, these scientists, the fucking computer wizards over here building shit like this for y'all to make y'all lives easier, and you can't use it for what it's worth. Do your fucking research. It's not that goddamn hard. All right. Alcohol used in the United States. So why did I pull that up? Well, it is pretty common for individuals to turn over to substances like alcohol, weed, and cigarettes and stuff like that to help alleviate their mental health issues, to help ignore issues that are going on within them. People turn to alcohol, people turn to weed because it helps take them away from reality. So, my presumption was that with the ever since COVID had happened, there was an increase in domestic violence, there was an increase in depression, there was an increase in suicide rates, all of these things. And so I personally believe that there's a correlation between lack of healthy minded individuals and an increase in alcohol usage. Found it. So let me pull up the statistics. I'm going to the edited picks. Oops, picked the wrong thing here. All right, global overview. Leading mental health problems. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. I want to pull up the best data that covers majority of people. Wow, they got information on people from drinking during pregnancy. Look at that. Mm. And they separate binge drinking from people who just drink regularly. Percentage of let's touch on this real quick. Let's see. Percentage of pregnant U.S. women aged 18 to 49 years with current or binge alcohol drinking between 2018 and 2020 by age group. So for people between 18 to 24, 16.8% of women who are pregnant or who have been pregnant drank alcohol. 8% of them were binge drinking alcohol. But let's look at the overall because I ain't going through all these goddamn age groups. Overall, 13.5% of pregnant women who were pregnant or is pregnant during that time frame drank alcohol at some point, and 5% of them were binge drinking alcohol. So let me break something down here because y'all ain't looking at this website. I am. So statistics.com.org, no, it's .com. They every organization has a different perception of what's considered binge drinking, but there's an accepted general rule. So binge drinking is considered someone who is drinking 12 to 15 drinks per occasion. That's considered binge drinking. Um, People who drink alcohol, I believe they have separations because they have binge drinking at that level. They also have about, um, I would say excessive drinking. I think those are two separate categories for them, and those are people who drink about like 6 to 8 drinks per occasion, and it goes lower and lower. Like, people who just drink every so often. There are people who they consider drinking maybe 2 to 3 drinks per occasion, or 2 to 5. So binge drinking means it's a really serious problem. That means you're drinking a lot of alcohol. Uh, but let's go back because that's not the biggest thing I wanted to cover. U.S. overview. Woo. That's cute. That's not what I want though. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I'm about to tell you. Just give me a second. Wow. Okay, let's touch on this right here. This is pretty good information. So this is considered binge drinking prevalence among adults in the United States as of 2022. Why did I pick 2022? Because this is 2 years after COVID. So that means that this is when kind of the world shifted, by culture, people's attitudes, mental health. This is when things have shifted over time. So this is a list of percentages based on state of how many people are binge drinking throughout that state. And the District of Columbia is leading by 25.9% of binge drinkers. So if you live in the DMV area and you watching this video and you drink, depending on how much you drink based off what I told you, you probably one of that 25.9%. So go ahead and put that goddamn alcohol down. Throw away all them goddamn the brown liquor, white liquor, orange liquor, green liquor, and fucking red liquor, wine. Throw all that shit in the trash. Get your ass in therapy, because this number is crazy. This is crazy. This is disappointing. And I could bet you a lot of y'all are doing it because you're ignoring problems. You're trying to get over the day. You have to do it in a healthier manner because this is putting your health at risk. We're talking about cardiovascular issues. We're talking about liver problems. This is going to fuck you up in the long run, but you're not considering that. You're like, oh, I had a long day. I need a drink. The fact that that's your default setting and yours not grayed out. Your default setting for drinking alcohol or not based on whatever you dealt with ain't grayed out. You can change that shit. It's like a drop down menu. Drink or not to drink. Not to drink. Y'all asses need to stop fucking drinking. Y'all need to cool that shit out. And it's not about going cold turkey. It's about changing how you live. So if you habitually will come home from work and say, I need a drink, you need to change that to, I need to talk to somebody. I need to call my therapist. You need to find a different way to exercise the issues that go on internally so you can be better as a person. Again, the importance of this video is to bring awareness to being more therapeutic. You need to get therapy because this is going to help you as an individual and it's going to help the people that you're going to meet along the run. So that means that when you want to find somebody to be with and stuff like that right there, this is going to help you. You're not seeing it now because right now you're in the midst of doing whatever bullshit that you're doing. But over time, you will see it. And it's not going to be an obvious change. A lot of y'all want to see quick, big ass results like the moon crash landing on the earth. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be subtle. It's going to be like fucking dust flying past your ass and you ain't even going to notice it. That's how it's going to be. And over time, that dust going to get bigger and bigger till you be like, God damn, I can't stop sneezing. So, but this shit takes time and you have to be consistent. You have to be disciplined. You have to learn self control and you have to manage your temptations. All of those are characteristic values that you need to, if you ain't fucking got them, you need to get them. You need to learn how to practice those. And so it's going to take time. This doesn't mean go cold turkey. So let's say hypothetically, you drink every day during the work week because work stresses you out, but you don't drink on the weekend. So that's 5 times in a week that you're drinking. That's a lot of drinking. Therefore, instead of going flat out cold turkey and like, all right, I'm just not going to drink at all. Some people can do that. Some people can't. For the people who are a little less disciplined and can't just go cold turkey, you could do what is called a snowball effect. This is something that they teach people in finance when it comes to paying off debt. You know, if you have considerable amounts of debt, there's a technique called the snowball effect, which helps you feel like you're making progress. So the way that works is that, and I'm still on this finance part. So the way the snowball effect works in finance when it comes to paying off debt is you focus on only paying off the credit card or the loan or whatever that has the lowest amount that you owe. And you focus on binge paying that off. And once you pay that off, you go to the next lowest amount and the next lowest amount. So if you have 3 credit cards, one has 500 on it, the other one has 1,000, and the third one has 1,500. You pay off the 500 first, you pay off the 1,000 next, and then you pay off the 1,500. Now, that's a snowball effect. That's essentially, in basic terms, what that means. There are other things that come into play when you're trying to do a snowball effect, like, oh, this due date, this has a higher interest rate, et cetera, et cetera. But in this basic terms, that's what the snowball effect is. The snowball effect can apply here too. If you have a habitual problem where you're drinking alcohol every fucking day except for the weekend, you drink too fucking much. You need to reduce that. Therefore, if you don't have enough, if you like, oh, there's a plan, and you need to reduce how much alcohol you're drinking, you know, you're sitting there on your couch with your fucking stomach showing, you like, damn, I need to change. All right, cool. You watched enough David Goggin videos, so now you're like, I need to make a change. Okay, do it in small iterations. Start in the following week, you say, okay, I'm not going to drink on Monday, but I'm still drinking Tuesday through fucking Friday. And then you do that for maybe 2-3 weeks until you feel ready to go to take off another day. So now you, maybe after a month, you're like, all right, I'm only drinking from Wednesday to Friday. So now Monday and Tuesday, you're not drinking. And you continue to do this until you are officially not drinking at all. Now, could you still drink sometimes? Yes, but you just need to reduce you're trying to offset the balance. Instead of having it where like again, it's 7 days in a week and you spend 5 of those days drinking and only 2 of those days not drinking, you want to flip that to spending 5 to 6 days not drinking and maybe a day or two that you do. You want to change how your lifestyle is. That's you're flipping the whatever the fuck you call that, the weight scale. You're flipping the scale. You're offsetting it in a more healthier way instead of an unhealthier way. So that's why I say try the snowball effect. It will help you out. Now, going back to the overall purpose of this video, therapy. The reason why I wanted to point out the alcohol aspect anyway is for the fact that there has been an increase in alcohol usage alongside the increase of mental health issues in America. Therefore, that means that there are more people utilizing substances like alcohol to deal with their mental health problems. That's not how you should do it. You need to go to therapy. You have to work on your internal before you can benefit from the external, like a healthy relationship. You can't say you're seeking a healthy relationship, but you got fucking baggage and problems out the ass, and you expect the next person that you meet to supplement those issues, and that's not how it works. They can't. A person outside of you can never bring you happiness on the internal. You have to bring that to yourself. And you can't get that by trying to just go on a motherfucking hiatus and just not speak to people for 2, 3, 4, several months, thinking that you're gonna heal from that. Yeah, does self healing help to a degree when you focus on yourself more? Yes, and it's even more beneficial to people who give a lot of their energy and time to other people. It will benefit people more in that aspect. But when you want a huge jump in benefits from a lifestyle change in your mental health, it is better when you go to therapy. That's why therapy still exists. There's a reason why this shit still exists, people. If it didn't matter and it wasn't useful, we wouldn't fucking need it. We could just fucking do the trendy shit and just be like, oh, I'm self-healing, I'm focusing on myself. Ha 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 ha. You sound like a bunch of snarty ass nosed rich kids. It doesn't fucking matter how much self-healing you do, you still got fucking mental health problems. Through and through. Most of y'all be fucking doing all this goddamn self-healing, going on a hiatus from social media for 6+ months, and then you come back from the hiatus, you go back to fucking using social media, and then you feel like you need another hiatus. That means you ain't fucking healed. You just temporarily delayed the issues. You reduced the fucking problem temporarily, but it came right back because you went right back to the same old bullshit. That's not healing. You're not healed. You just bullshit. You trying to get over something for a temporary amount of time, but the problems are still there. So that's why you need to go to fucking therapy. And I need to touch on something here. It's all nice when you find a therapist. You're like, cool, this therapist is affordable. They only charge me $65 an hour, and they're cool and they get me. Okay, that's great. But are they giving you valuable information? Are they giving you good advice? Remember, they're human beings too. Just like doctors, just like lawyers, they're all human beings. So if you fucking think that these therapists don't have their own fucking health issues and problems, then you're fucking wrong. They have issues too. So therefore, you need to be mindful and say, okay, I've been using this therapist for 6+ months, and my evaluation of them is they suck. They're not giving me, substantial advice. I'm still in the same rut. I don't feel like I'm making any progress, or maybe the progress I'm making is so small. If you feel like that's the issues when you review their progress report card, then you probably need to change therapists. Don't sit up here and say, okay, well, I'm gonna just keep using this therapist because it's cheap to use them because they're not charging that much. That's you're worse off than somebody who's just fucking drinking this money. You wanna know why? Because you're making a dumbass decision. You're spending money you're no better than them. You're spending money on somebody who isn't helping you. Just like alcohol and smoking weed all day ain't gonna help your ass. You just gonna be a little bit healthier than them, but you still making the same dumbass decisions. You spending money on somebody who ain't even helping you heal, who's not able to give you the advice that you need, the guidance that you need to get you to the next step in your life. So guess what? You making just the same ass dumbass decisions. You just as stupid. You just as stupid. You might as well just kept that money in your pocket and fucking burned it. If you're going to find a therapist, you need to find a therapist that fucking works. So when you are vetting therapists, just like you vet, just especially women, just like y'all vet men on dates, just like men, when for the men out here who do want to look for a quality woman, just like y'all vet those women, you need to vet your therapist. You don't sit over here and just be like, oh, $30 an hour? Shit. All right, cool. And you think just because, no. It costs money to be happy sometimes, and it costs money to be healthy. That's why you pay more money for that goddamn apple at the grocery store. Sucks, but it is what it is. But guess what? My ass gonna live longer than your dumb ass. I ain't about to sit over here and die on my deathbed at 42 because my ass wanted to eat a bunch of fried food instead of some goddamn fruits. Oh, it was cheaper. Well, guess what? I guess my life was cheap too. That's why I died so damn early. Same thing with therapy. I know people who pay like $200-300 an hour for a fucking good ass therapist. It is what it is. Y'all got the money, especially people who spend all this money drinking every weekend. You got the money. If you add up all them dollars that you spending, you could probably pay for a therapist for at least if a therapist is charging like $100 an hour, you could probably easily pay for that and have money left over. That's how much money some of y'all spend on drinks in an entire month. Y'all need to get y'all crap together. So Like I said, y'all, before y'all worry about dating, before y'all worry about, let me put it like this, before y'all worry about a serious relationship, you could probably date, but if you trying to get to the level of a serious relationship with somebody, you need to focus on your mental health first. You need to worry about healing first. You need to worry about making sure that your mind and your heart is in the right place before you worry about trying to be with somebody else. Because to the irony of love is you have to be willing to give it to receive it. And that goes for both parties. If both parties follow that methodology, you will have a great relationship. If one of y'all ain't, then the relationship's just gonna fail. You can't be fucking selfish and expect people to be selfless. Everybody has feelings, everybody has issues, and you have to be previous of that. And even and another thing I will say is that therapy is to help you manage what you've dealt with in a healthier manner. Is to help you separate the right and wrongs. Is to help you look at things from a different perspective, and it's to help you find peace with your past and probably even your present or maybe your potential future. That's what the goal of therapy is. Do not walk into a therapist's office or call a therapist on Zoom thinking that they're going to completely remove those problems out of your life. They're always going to be there. That's not what their job is. That's not realistic. It's not possible. Their goal is to do what I just said. Is to help you look at it from a different perspective. Is to help you heal from that to a certain degree. That if somebody used to be abusive towards you, that feeling is always going to be there. It's just that it's going to be as time goes on, it's going to be further and further back in your mind, but in your heart. But at some point, it could always flare up. You can always meet somebody that makes you feel concerned that they might be abusive. So now those feelings come back. But what therapy is supposed to do is help you manage those issues in a healthier way. So no, your problems will never be removed. Those traumas will never be gone. You don't have an erase button. That trauma will still be there. You will never forget about it unless you fucking get amnesia. So that means that what else can a therapist do besides help you manage it? Because they can't fucking erase it from your life. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're going into therapy. And one other thing that I just remembered, if your therapist is co-signing bullshit from you and you know it, you're a grown adult. If your therapist is co-signing you doing bad behavior shit, like if you call them up and you're like, yeah, so I disrespected them like X, Y, and Z way, and they're not checking you on that, and they're co-signing it, or if they're not co-signing it, they're not checking you on those issues that you're doing, then they're not a good therapist. And you know that. That's the whole reason why you need to get a therapist that's why I say you can't have a friend to be your therapist. You can't have your parents because your parents are probably not healthy minded either. Some of y'all friends be out here co-signing bullshit that y'all shouldn't be doing, and you know damn well that you shouldn't be doing it. So if you find a therapist that co-signing, you gonna think it's cool. No, it's not. So if you find a therapist and they co-signing your problems, or you know damn well what you did was messed up, you need to be the one to stand up and be like, okay, that was wrong. I know I was wrong. This is where accountability comes from. Some of y'all ain't gonna never make it. I'm gonna just say that right now. Some of y'all will never see the light of day. You wanna know why? Because some of y'all ain't gonna hold yourselves accountable. Because part of the process of finding a good therapist is you got to be accountable for yourself. In other words, if I have a therapist who's toxic minded too, and he's over here co-signing my bad behavior, and I'm not willing to be accountable for myself and say, you know what, that was kind of messed up what I did to that person. You know, deep down inside, we all have the same feelings. Ain't nobody special. You know damn well what you did was kind of messed up. Even just the slightest. If you even slightly felt like, yeah, I should, like, even if you felt like it was justified, you know what you did, whether you felt like it was justified or not, was to do harm to that person. So therefore, you know what you was doing was messed up. So if a therapist co-signs it and you don't hold yourself accountable, say, okay, this is not the right therapist for me, then you're never gonna see the light of day. Everybody around you is gonna keep co-signing your BS. You're gonna keep co-signing your BS. That means you're never gonna find what you want. You're not going to get the most quality types of people that you want in your life because you are seeking to find people who are co-signing bullshit that you're doing. So some of y'all are never going to see the light of day. Because some of y'all don't realize your problems, and then some of y'all have the unfortunateness to run into people who support those problems. So you don't think they're issues. So the moment you run into somebody who does see it's an issue and then bring it to your attention, you think they're the problem. See, this is why you need a therapist. But if the therapist is not doing their job and they got fucking problems too and they're over here co-signing bullshit, guess what? Then you're gonna be lost in the goddamn sauce. So some of y'all ain't gonna never see the light of day unless y'all have, you know, some good ass accountability. So y'all need to be mindful of that. These are characteristics of an individual. Not everybody has accountability of themselves. Not everybody has discipline. Not everybody has honesty and integrity. But if you do have at least accountability, you could probably at least find a good therapist. But you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to hold that therapist accountable too. Because not every therapist is good. And just because it's cheap don't mean it's good either. Sometimes you got to pay for the best ones. So it is what it is. All right. That's all I wanted to talk about with y'all. Fucking go get on y'all shit. Make that money. Make sure y'all spend some of that money. Put a portion aside for fucking therapy. Because y'all ass need it. 2% my ass. This is some bullshit. So I'll talk to y'all later. The next video will probably be about, like I said in the first video, communication. This is why I talked about this therapy thing right after that first video, because you can't communicate if you are afraid to communicate. So that's a problem. That's an internal issue. You know where you get that fixed at? Therapy. Wow. Man, it all falls back to that. Damn. Fucking hate this guy, Elijah. Everything falls back to that shit. Yeah. Let that shit seed there. Yeah, I hope you fucking hate me, asshole. Because you the idiot, not me. Get your fucking therapy. Put that money aside. You know that $12, $30 that you was about to spend? You better find a therapist that charge you $30 an hour. Get you a free consultation or some shit. And get your ass in the goddamn therapist office. Some of y'all don't need to be out here doing whatever the hell y'all doing because y'all know how to goddamn act. Fucking 2%. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Next video is going to be the communication. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to start, pulling out some more videos about relationships and dating and stuff like that right there. But this had to come second. I mean, it came second, but this is priority. This is more priority than the first video. This is priority. Therapy first, motherfuckers. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.